Essentials training program that we have organized for network architects. And I'm here to guide you through what NSO is and why it's becoming a critical tool in the networking industry, and how our training program can empower you to leverage its full potential. Since we've been delivering a lot of programs about network automation, DevNet. So when any participant or any candidate or any aspirant prepares for the DevNet expert certification, he or she interacts with a lot of tools that are used nowadays for automating the network environment, and using NSO or knowing NSO pretty much adds a decent amount of value to the skill sets that you possess. So since we thought of breaking down each tool and launching in-depth training for focusing on specific tools, including NSO, PyAds, and then Terraform and Ansible, CI/CD, and a lot of others, this video helps you understand that how or what kind of values will be added to your skill set if you enroll for this training program. So as we delve into the world of network automation, Cisco's NSO, which is called as Network Services Orchestrator, stands out for its ability to simplify and automate complex network operation. So NSO is not just about the technology, it's also about transforming how networks are managed, making them more flexible and faster to deploy and easier to manage. Kind of allows you to use the SDN architecture, where you have a centralized orchestrator which actually interacts with the network infrastructure, and you being the admin can take control of what needs to be provisioned onto your network infrastructure. So in this 40 hour of intensive training, we cover everything from the basics of transactional service activation in NSO, and understanding how the NSO actually interacts with the network infrastructure, then designing the real-time usable or real-world usable services, and what sets our training apart. Well, there are a lot of things, but first let's talk about how you would be using our in-house labs that are provided by PyNet Labs, and how it enables you to practice the exercises that we cover in our trainings after the class hours. So here I have created a demo environment for you where you'll be interacting with the network infrastructure that we have here. And we have a WSL, which is Windows Subsystem Linux, using which you can interact with the routers. So the routers have a management IP address in the subnet of 10.255.1.0. And I can also take the SSH access by using the same IP address. And there we go. We can log in into the box. And I also have created a demo environment or demo instance for NSO. So I can log in into my NSO instance right there using the command. And we have created a device. If I say show devices list, it should show you that R1 is something that I have already onboarded. Now, with that, you would be able to do any sort of configuration changes onto the box from the NSO itself. For example, if I want to configure a new interface onto the device, I can directly go to the config of NSO. I can then jump into the devices and then select a specific device from that device range whose name is R1, and then I can jump into the configuration mode of R1 and then maybe configure a loopback interface, maybe loopback 200, and then I can give it an IP address saying 192.168.200.1 along with the subnet mask, and then I can say no shutdown, take an exit, and then go to the top. And I can also check the dry run of our configuration that we're trying to do on the device. So commit dry run command allows you to see that what exactly is the configuration that will be added into the current config of the device. And you can see the plus sign highlights that we are about to configure a loopback 200 interface onto our device. If I take the console of my R1 directly, which is the CLI access, then I can see that there is no loopback 200 that is present. It just has a demo loopback 10 interface. But now if I just go back on my WSL and if I try to hit commit, then this configuration will be pushed onto the device because the R1 is being managed by your NSO orchestrator right now. It says that the device's configuration is out of sync. It is possible that the copy of the configuration that the NSO maintains and the current configuration that is present onto the device differs. So when you get a warning like this, you can simply perform devices sync from, and then the configuration locally will be updated. There you go. Now if I say devices check sync, then it will tell you whether the configuration that is locally present into the NSO matches the configuration that is available onto the device, and it says that result is in sync. And now if I say commit dry run, so this is kind of the commit that is in line. So I can simply hit commit, and this shall go and push the configuration onto the device. There you go, commit complete. So if I now jump onto the CLI of the device, which is the actual CLI, there you go, you can see new loopback 200 is configured. NSO also allows you features. For example, someone takes the access of your device directly and he or she goes and directly says no interface loopback 200. So someone went there and now the actual device doesn't really have loopback 200 available. But according to the configuration of NSO, if I say do show run devices device R1 config interface, it shows you that these are the interfaces which are present onto the box, and it also shows you that we have something called loopback 200 available. Now because according to NSO loopback 200 is there, and according to the actual devices config loopback 200 is not there. So if we again say devices check sync, it will be out of sync. So once something like this happens, you can see that it is out of sync. So when something like this happens, I can simply say devices sync to. What this sync to will do, it will kind of execute the configuration, and it will push the local configuration that is available onto the NSO's CDB to the actual device. And then without doing any configuration change, you can see that your loopback interface show IP interface brief, your loopback interface is back again. So this is kind of a short example of how NSO would allow you to do configuration changes onto the infrastructure that it is managing. You can also add more devices in your NSO. Currently we just have R1 which is being added. So I can add more devices by saying devices, device, and a new device like R2. I can specify what is the management address of that device, that is 10.255.1.102. Then I would say SSH host key verification needs to be none. We don't want to do that. And then I can also say auth group, and I can directly say demo, which contains the username and password or the credentials that NSO would use to log in into the device. Then I would also say device type. It's going to be CLI net ID. The network element driver that we will be using to manage the device is Cisco iOS CLI 3.0. Network element driver helps NSO to convert the user intended configuration into device understandable language. And then the protocol that we will use for it is going to be SSH. Then the state of the device also needs to be unlocked so that the southbound communication can actually be done. And that is a configuration which will be required to add a new device into your NSO. So if I look again at commit dry run, this will show me that this is how you're going to add a new device into the configuration, and I will say commit. If I commit that, now if I say show devices list, it will show me we have R1 and R2. But then the R2 is not something that is connected right now. So we need to say devices. I can go specific devices, device R2 connect, and it will try to take control of that device. And then if I check the configuration, what I have to do is I say devices sync from. So it will copy the configuration that is present onto the devices again. You can be specific by saying devices device R2 sync from, or when you do devices sync from, it will just perform sync from operation for all the devices that it controls. So now you can see R1 and R2, both of them are being managed by your device. So this is how the NSO can be installed in your Linux environment, and how you can interact with the topology in your EVE-NG simulator, and then can try multiple operations to learn about it. So that's a bit about how the labs are going to be demonstrated into the training that we're going to come up with. Now, in the 40-hour of intensive training, in the 40-hour of intensive training, we cover everything from the basics of NSO fundamentals, what NSO is, how NSO works, right? And then what exactly is the architecture of NSO and everything. We'll just talk about the course outline also in this video. But what stands apart is, firstly, you'll receive unlimited hosted lab access, allowing you to practice and perfect your skills in the real world environment. Then our comprehensive course notes and workbook are designed to support your learning journey, providing you with valuable resources at your fingertips. And moreover, with lifetime recorded access to our sessions on our LMS portal, you can revisit the material anytime, ensuring you have the support you need to succeed. And let's not forget about the private Telegram group access. So this particular platform kind of allows you to engage with the peers and instructor and ask your questions and share insights, making your learning experience interactive and supportive. So if I give you a sneak peek of how the content would look like, then this is the course outline that we have. So if you look at the course outline, now we definitely have a prerequisite that you should have a fair idea of what the network programmability basics are, for which there is a prerequisite course also, which is Cisco DevNet. And then you also need to be good with programming. You should have a fair idea of how Python exactly works, for which also we have a prerequisite course called PCNE, Python for Network Engineers. So when you look at the outline, we discuss about why automation is needed with day 0, day 1, and day end provisioning. What are day 0, day 1, and day end provisioning? You need to understand that what kind of features are supposed to be automated into your environment. Then we're going to talk about SDN and NFV. What exactly is SDN? What exactly is NFV? We're going to compare it with the traditional way of managing network infrastructure. We're going to also talk about the ways and methods to implement network automation, right? NSO is not the only way which is out there. So we'll talk about several, and we will be comparing those. And then we will also be discussing about the pros and cons of using NSO. Then we will decode the cross-domain orchestration. We'll talk about the Cisco's Crosswork portfolio, which integrates with NSO, and then it allows you to implement something called closed loop automation in the service provider domain, right? And we'll have a walkthrough of model-driven programmability. This is pretty important for you to learn about NSO. If you don't understand the YANG structure, if you don't understand how NETCONF exactly works, if you don't understand the XML and JSON payloads that gets exchanged between you and the device when you work with model-driven programmability, then it's gonna make it hard for you to learn NSO. But if you're good enough with these, then it makes it a lot more easier to understand the flow of NSO. Post that, we will finally talk about the services in NSO. We will explore the architecture of NSO. We'll explore the orchestrating network solutions. We will also talk about the NSO's operation. Then we're going to install NSO. We will explore the advantages of NetConf, managing devices using device manager, something that I showed you right now, creating YANG models when we talk about creating your services, using services, then implementing services with model-to-model mapping, designing services in Cisco NSO, then managing the service lifecycle, programming with Python and Cisco NSO, so you can create your custom Python scripts so that you can interact with NSO not only using the CLI and GUI that it exposes, but also using your custom Python scripts. So if you want to interact with NSO to onboard like inventory of devices in NSO, you can just have a Python script, supply an Excel file containing the device details, and you'll be able to add 10 devices in NSO with a smack of a second. Then we'll also talk about configuring and troubleshooting system settings, discovering the NSO northbound APIs, right? You can also use API calls to interact with NSO, managing alarms and reporting, configuring Cisco NSO for scalability and performance, and finally, we'll talk about the VNF manager and function packs that comes along with NSO or can be integrated with NSO. And then that's the lab outline, which gets covered hand by hand when we talk about all the outlined topics about. So that's a brief about what our course looks like. It's going to be an amazing course for everyone who's looking forward to learn NSO as a wonderful tool, which is grabbing market. So when you think about why to enroll in the NSO training, well, the demand for skilled professionals who can navigate the complexities of network automation is skyrocketing. And by mastering NSO, you're not just learning a new tool, you're also positioning yourself at the forefront of the industry transformation. So our training is not just an investment in your professional development, it's also a pathway to becoming a key player in shaping the future of network automation, right? So I'd like to emphasize you to join us to unlock the full potential of the NSO and elevate your career in network automation. So I'd request you to sign up today and take the first step towards becoming the NSO expert. And thank you for watching this video. My name is Abhijit, again, DevNet expert from PyNet Labs, and I look forward to welcoming you to our training program. Take care. Have a good day ahead. Thank you. Bye.